Good evening. This is Dr. Cecily Cornish, and welcome to my channel. I know I've been away for a while, but I'm telling you, I had to really sometimes you need to just step back, reflect, replenish, pray, meditate, whatever you need to do, especially when you hear so much negative news. Now, let me share something with you. And the name of this video. Now, first of all, I want to thank my subscribers. Please share and like. That means so much to me. And I'm praying for you as you praying for me. And just know that I'm coming to you with, and I want to make a disclaimer that this is just my opinion and my passion as a American black woman. I could have done ministry because I am a minister. But I really just wanted to talk about, and this I felt that God was leading me in this path about leadership. In fact, that's what my PhD is, in leadership. And also I do have a background as a retired sergeant. I didn't work the streets like officers on the street, but I did work the airport. I made a couple of stops, but that's not like working in the city or working in the urban areas on the road. So I did work the hospitals. I worked the jails, and I also worked the courts, and I worked the airport, and that's why I retired as a sergeant. So I do know something about, and I want to make a disclaimer, this is just my opinion, but I do have some experience on what it means to take the oath as an officer of a duty of care. I do know what it means to make sure that you're doing ethical decisions, you're making ethical decisions, you're making ethical, timely decisions, split-second decisions, and also that you are following the letter of the law in terms of making sure you're protecting and serving. Now, the reason why, I'm going to tell you what the name of my, so I want to make that disclaimer. This is just my opinion. So all your negative comments, I do not answer them. You can cut off anytime. But like I said, this is something that I felt a passion for. And like I said, I was a sergeant at the Detroit Wayne County Sheriff's Department. Not necessarily working the streets, but understand about training, officers training, understand about split-second decisions, because sometimes you had to make decisions in split-second decision. I had to save a lady from hanging in the jail, so that took a split-second decision, and the lady's life was saved, thank God. But let me get to the Chauvin trial. The reason why George Floyd murder is so pivotal in our history, we have to take note. Like when the little girl was on the, I guess her uncle's shoulder, George Floyd's little girl, and she said, these are the words she said, he changed the world. Now we have to realize, what did she mean? Remember, of all the unarmed black men that's been murdered, and there have been many, some we don't even know. Probably don't even know the count, including hangings. That unarmed black men, that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about unarmed black men that have been hung and killed and asphyxiated because of the color of their skin. This is the first time that a whole entire world countries were protesting in behalf of George Floyd's murder by those officers. And my opinion is, especially after seeing the trial, that, now this is my opinion, all the officers are held accountable for their actions. And the fact is, I really think that the defense hurt themselves when they said, well, if George Floyd had to stayed in the car, he wouldn't have, in other words, he wouldn't have been dead. Well, see, that's the issue again. Hate always project on the black person for being black and not compliant. Like I had a sister, and I really praying for her today, and she's a minister friend of mine. I've been knowing for years, and she told me on the phone conversation, she said, well, and she's black, if only the black men will comply. And I'm saying, well, how much more do they need to comply when they're handcuffed, when they don't have a weapon, when they're following the orders? See, even with that military Virginia guy, and that's what I'm tell you. That's what I'm gonna leave that to my topic. That veteran guy in North Virginia that was tased by those two officers. He could see that he had his tag. Of course, I would have pulled off in the dark either for you to kill me to say I was pulling for a gun. And then you notice how they were hollering and shouting like he had killed somebody. But they didn't do it with that white guy that killed those Asian people, those 8 Asian peoples at the 3 separate parlors, Asian parlors that's like 15 minutes from here in Cobb County in Woodstock, Georgia. And they said, and this is what the chief said, he had a bad day. Well, guess what? Black people have been having a bad day for 400 years because we black. You want to hate us and kill us for our color because you want to use us to put us in jail for money. It's about money. You want to continue. So that's why we got to do something with these private jails, these jail system, the incarceration, the detention, all the stuff need to be overhauled because it's about money. But what we need to do, which I know Floyd's family is going to do, is going to go for the money. Sue those officers. Sue. And this is the thing. When we talk about Democrats and Republicans, when you're conservative, we want little taxes. Well, guess what? Every time a black man, unarmed black person, or any person of color, anybody gets killed unjustly and unarmed and is murdered, especially for your color, when it gets to be hate crime, it makes it even worse. Is that the fact? It's bad anyway. I don't want to say that, but for the fact that we are proportionally more times murdered unarmed than our white counterparts. Okay, let's just deal with the reality. Now, the thing is, now you want to talk about low taxes, but guess where the money coming from these lawsuits? Like the lady that they had on TV. Oh, she took down the Klan when they killed and hung her son. Well, yeah, and closed down the headquarters. But see, we need to go after these officers' retirement. So no... Officer Chauvin's one of the 4 officers, one of the officers that was on the knee. Oh, he said quietly, oh, maybe we should. No. What you should have been doing was pushing him off, the officer off of him, and getting him some air and getting him out that prone position. So when that defense talked about, if he had complied, if he had stayed in the car, well, see, that's the issue. The officers are always, the unarmed black men are always compliant. And so let's get to, they're going to have to be sued. And we're going to have to make some laws to stop this asphyxiation. It's just another form of hanging. It's another form of trying to it's about the money. Keep the black man in prison. Incarceration is another form of slavery. That's all. It's another form of money. That's all. It's a money thing. And so what they need to do is flip it and go after the money, because what's going to happen is, and believe me, I don't believe in violence, but see, tearing down these businesses hurts us. It hurts the people. It hurts the taxpayers. So when these killings are going on, the families are going to sue. Just like the guy, the military veteran that was stopped. Now, I've seen that video. They are hollering at this guy, but did they holler at the white guy? The one that the chief said had a bad day when he killed 8 people, and most of them were Asian women at 3 separate parlors, but they don't say that's a hate crime? I want to see that trial. It's amazing how hate puts it back. Project their reason for killing unarmed, innocent people back on the person. Just like the rapists do when they rape women. They put, she was dressed a certain way. Well, no, first, you shouldn't have been having your hands on her, because it's wrong. It's a crime. It's criminal behavior. And so this is what the racism is about. It's about injustice. It's about discriminating. It's about, why was the 2 officers in North Virginia hollering and shouting because of a tag? Come on, y'all. And this guy getting out shouting and hollering like the guy murdered somebody. But you didn't shout and holler when that guy killed those 8 Asian guys. In fact, the chief police said again, he had a bad day. See, it's a perspective that black people ain't nothing, see? Again. So for the family member that's going to say that that's going in front of television and telling them that, my brother is a good, kind person. Well, you didn't do enough. Your feet were on the back of his legs all that time. Even when you knew that you said it, maybe we should turn him over. but you did nothing. See, so you had your actions overspoke what you said. Okay, so that's why this video is called The Bottom Line. Because North Virginia, that military vet is, thank God he didn't get killed. And this is a man serving our country, a black man. Wow, serving our country, probably a family man, probably got a grandmother, the mother. Thank God he didn't die. So let's get to Dante Wright. The female officer said, I didn't even look at that. He was murdered, unarmed, traffic. And see, this is the thing is, you see the Asian guy, and then look at January 6th. They just got to go home. They came with Ku Klux Klan. They came with Nazi symbols, weapons, zip ties, and they were escorted out of the building. See the difference? Now, let's come on down here. So we know about Atlanta. That's like 15 minutes away from me. You see how he had a bad day, the chief said. Now, with this guy that just got murdered, Dante Wright, and I pray for his family. Please pray for his family. Because, it just gets overwhelming. But see, this is going to change. It's going to change. I'm going to tell you why. Because, see, George Floyd's murder was pivotal in the fact that the whole world, those cities and countries in Italy, they were, and every time I want to get in church, I'm gonna look at that, how they were protesting against Black Lives Matter. And some Biden administration went over there in China, and they were sitting there having a conference, and not that China like us, because you don't see no black people in China, like you don't see no black people over in where Putin is at, okay? No black people. No people. You see the same people, all Asians, and then you see all Putin's people. The point is this. China woman told him, well, how can you tell us about us when you need to deal with your Black Lives Matter? See, the thing is that this system foundation that was built on lies that black people are not human, are not respected. We're not. We realize that we can get killed for the color of our skin. You can be in a room of 10 white people. You better know at least 3 of them are going to hate you and will kill you for the color of your skin. Think about that. Now, let's get back down to, with that being said, that officer, female officer with Dante Wright, who murdered that young man, just took his life. We got to pray for his family. Took his life. And she said that she pulled the gun by mistake and she meant to pull the taser. Well, you know what? It's just too many accidental. You're going to have to pay for that because you chose to make a decision. And then think about it. He didn't just come from murdering nobody. This is a traffic stop. He didn't murder 8 people at 3 different parlors. Okay? And here, that military veteran was talked about like a dog. Like he had committed murder. Like he had just killed, like he was a mass murderer. And all they wanted to stop him was for his sticker that was visibly, you could see on the back of, I wouldn't have stopped in no dark place either. In fact, I think they should start passing these laws and say, you need to have a supervisor before you do anything. Anything. Especially if a person stopped and the engine is turned off and they're not threatening. And you just tell them, wait till the supervisor get here and that's not going to even change. You have to understand this is about money. So we need to the people need to sue. And this is what I'm going to get back to Democrats and Republicans. You're talking about for you conservatives, we want small taxes. Well, you're going to have no small taxes because the military veteran guy is going to be suing, has already got a lawsuit against him. And don't forget those 2 black college people down here that were almost traumatized. I forgot their names. It was on video. Traumatized by their own black officers. See, a lot of this ego, who was in control. But most of this by officers are because they hate us for the color of our skin. And until America deal with that, because see what it is it's not so much as hate. It's hate, but it's because it's a form of slavery. They want to keep incarcerating us. They want to keep locking us about that money. Keep that money going. See? So that's why there needs a transformation and the overhaul of this detention thing. In fact, you need to be locking a lot of people up. And I'm talking about these officers that got away with these shootings. And they need to be sued. You need to be investigated that. And then we still got so many other ones that have not even been solved. And then we're not even talking about the hangings. Let's talk about had they had that video. And this just amazes me. It amazes me. When they're on TV, when that officer got up there, when that chief, administrator, or spokesman got up there, and they asked him, what is the name of the officer? Well, I didn't know. I found it was a female. He didn't give it. But if it was a black man, they would have said it was a black man and gave his name, okay? But this is the point. They just had down here in Atlanta, kids to kids. Remember that? 2 tables. It was 3 tables, I think, but you could visibly see the 2 tables. And you see all the white kids had food and the black kids didn't. This just amazes me. On idea says, if you see him on camera, you got to murder. Our eyes could see that Chauvin and the rest of the officers killed and took the life out of George Floyd in real time for the world to see. We've seen that. Now, this officer, so they didn't want to say his name. The officer didn't want to say the female officer's name that killed Dante. So we keep his family in prayer. So you got to realize this is about money. That's why this whole system, see, the traffic stop is just the beginning to get the person into the local lockup, get the traffic warrants, build them up. They can't pay, and then they go to prison. That's why that's why these traffic tickets should be some amnesty with them and get rid of them. Because first of all, you get so many traffic tickets. Guess what? When I was in the jail, you sat in, and when you was in that holding cell, male holding cell, you sat there with murderers. Because a lot of times they will come down. Where do you think them people come down from the detention, from the prisons? Where do you think they came when they first came into the holding cell? They all got to change. They all got to strip, and they're all in there. The murderers, the traffic violations are in there. They don't have no separate jail for the people who have traffic warrants. You're going to be in there with the murderer, the killer, and the rapist. See, that's demoralizing right there. So they need to have an amnesty for that. So, January 6th, that was just fueled by hate. You talking about you love America? You're a lie. You talking about you a patriot? You're a lie. But the Bible says you should know them by the love that you show one to another. They're not showing love. These officers are not making split-second decisions that's for the good of the whole. You're not making it good for yourself, your family. You're not making it good for, because first of all, when you get that ego and that hate, when you get hate, you can't think, right? You can't think right. That's why you had a whole, in the Capitol, you had all them people. They couldn't think that to spread out. Everybody going following the black officer. Why? Because he was black. Hate makes you not think rationally. So with that being said, these are all incidents that the bottom line is we're going to have to overhaul the correctional, detention, and prison system. And we're going to have to change some things with this traffic thing. You should not treat people with traffic violations like they're criminals. Just because they got warrants. Traffic warrant, you can have warrants, but they could be traffic warrants. Does that make you a criminal? Did you have to pull out the gun, the taser for a traffic warrant? Come on. It's not about that. It's about the money. So what they need to do is flip it. And the only reason why America is going to change is because they know they're losing credibility. Even China, that don't care nothing about our black skin because you don't see no black people over there. The woman said, well, you need to handle with your Black Lives Matter. See, what's the foundation of America? If anybody should be having a bad day, we've had black people for 400 days, 400 years, I mean. And so we need to start going after this money. White people, Democrats, liberals, Republicans realize when a black person, because we got to acknowledge that we're getting murdered at a higher proportion. Okay, it's already a reality. Department of Justice sees it. We see it all the time. We see the videos. Like Will Smith said, it's always happened. We just now seeing it. See, it's coming to roost. See, America, before we can build back better, we got to deal with this racism. We got to get with this racism. We get on because see, China got us looking like we got horses and buggies, and they over there in their places and airports are looking like something that's the Jetsons, okay, something that's high tech. We looking like, our airports looking like buggies and horses. And theirs looking like something now in the future. When the future is here, we need to get that hemp. We need to start building our roadways, getting the D-minus. We need to deal with this racism so we can move on and build this country back better. And the only way we can build this country back better is to deal with this filthy, low-down, dirty racism that's keeping us from moving forward. Why don't we have an infrastructure where we can move people from the urban to the city to the urban? You talk about China, but China and Japan, they got robots where you can go into the taking the kids' temperature. What's wrong, America? You're so great, but you're so see your foundation is evil. You got to uproot that racism. You got to deal with that. We got to overhaul this detention and this criminal system. It's about a money maker, but really what it's doing is hurting us in the long run, because y'all liberals and stuff want small taxes. Well, you can get big taxes because everybody gonna sue, and then the people that don't know how to handle their frustration are tearing up our cities. So come on, y'all. Democracy matters. Black lives matters. This about a humane situation. You can't feed. And you can tell me in Atlanta, you don't feed a child. And Atlanta is good about, they're good about their dogs, honey. Don't mess with their dogs. Don't mess with their dogs. In fact, you better even have a fur down here. That's why I wear my fur. You got to wear your fur up north, but down here you better have a fake fur. They believe in their dogs, but you won't feed black children. Okay, America? We got to get it right. We got to get it right. This is about good and evil, ethical and unethical. I hope you like my channel. Please pray for me. I will be talking about the infrastructure. I got some good ideas about the infrastructure because we need to get going. We are so behind. We are like in the dark ages with our infrastructure. So God bless. Pray for America. Pray for our troops. Let's pray for democracy and humanity and love towards one another. God bless, and God bless our troops. Like and subscribe.